Now don't touch that fast forward. I just want to spend a few minutes to give you an insight on how this tape was done. It was done at Rutgers University with a bunch of high school players that we had not met before and are totally unfamiliar with the zone slides. It was done like a clinic type setting, as I usually do in many of the clinics throughout the country. One would be amazed in a short period of time how quickly these players adapt to the slides as we taught them. Also, as the taping session went on, the players actually got into a zone defensive rhythm. This tape will answer a lot of your questions. It will show you corner coverage, it will show you how to handle the dribble, it will show you the slides back in to meet the pass on the reverse. You'll feel very comfortable after viewing this tape and be able to teach the zone to your players. The zone itself will keep you in games. It neutralizes opponents. It gets slashing, moving, motion type teams to stand still, which is really not their game. It forces shooters who like to shoot on the move to shoot in a spot up position, something which we find are not quite comfortable with. Also, you will find that many teams will have various attacks against different types of zones. This is also to your advantage. Now, this zone being depicted today is a 2-3 zone slide. Why? Because this is the one we're asked to show in many of the clinics, because most of the schools and teams have a big man which they like to keep in the middle. This you can do with this particular zone. Lastly, the zone will keep you in the game. It'll make you competitive. It'll neutralize the opponent. It will then allow you to be in a position to win the game, whereas in many other times, their natural talent would be so far surpassing that you couldn't stay with them on a one-on-one basis. It is my hope that you gain much from this tape, so you will feel comfortable teaching the zone sides to your players. Here we see the zone in the 2-3 setting. Even though it is a stage setting, this is the general alignment that we want to present to the offense. The reason why we show the 2-3 in this position is that we really want the offense to come down in a one-man or odd-man front. As we know, most of the theories are if it's an even defense, you attack it with the odd-man front and vice versa. So we want to literally set the offense up by displaying this. Now, to say in the course of the transaction of the game, do they get back in this exact setting? The answer is no. But it has been established, and the offense seems to stay in the one-man front. What will happen is that the front man will make an adjustment. Here's where a little match comes in. 32 will come up and become the point man. The wingman will drop back, number 10, at the elbow area to become the wingman, and the back line will shift over accordingly. We are now meeting the one-man front with a one-man front defense ourselves. So it's a kind of a match. It takes away the split, and most importantly, it stops from two men being on the ball. Now we'll show you how we drill and show the alignment into our one-man front. Now we'll demonstrate to you the movements of the front part of the zone to meet the odd man front. As the ball is advanced, the shift occurs and the point and wing positions are established. The point is square to the ball, preventing any split, and the wing is tight at the elbow to prevent any bounce pass through the zone. The one-man front is now met. The dribbler here veers to his right. To prevent indecision, as soon as he crosses the foul lane line extended, the wing, number 10, will come up to play and cover the ball, with the point man dropping to the elbow to protect the high post. Here we want number 10 to come up to be the point man, for most of the scoring is going to be done from the left side of the floor. So as the ball is advanced up to the floor, 10 will assume the point man, 32 will drop back to the elbow to the wing position. We're one-on-one with the ball. Our wingman has the elbow area protected. They are now compact, and they're in good position now to meet the one-man front. As we make the shift in the front, we must have our back line realign itself with the shifting of the front line. That is, when 32 becomes a point man and 10 becomes the wing man, our cheat man in this setting would be number 24, who will be moving up to get to the next pass in his area. At the same time, 20, our middle man, will be shifting over to his right in the box area to complete the slide into the cheat position. What we're doing is getting both players into the next possible position to get the next pass in their area. In reality now, the zone is taking on the appearance of a lopsided 2-3 or a 1-2-2 set. The team shift occurs to meet the dribbler. Here we see the point man in good position, preventing a penetrating dribble. The wing is at the elbow, again, to prevent any bounce pass through the zone. Hands are up in some cases to prevent an easy entry pass to the corner. Our cheat man, who has moved up, should be square to the ball, facing the ball at all times, and in some cases he can even move in tighter to the elbow. Our middleman, who's now become a pure back man, is trying to get as high as he can. If he can get up even a couple steps higher, it's to no real disadvantage. Our other back man is square to the ball, again trying to get as high as he can. And essentially we are now in the best possible position we can be in to cover a next pass by number 10. Also, the lob is something of importance here. With adequate ball pressure and hands up, the lob is not as simple as a pass as one might think. At this juncture, I want to make a point here which is very, very important in the front line of the defense. And that is our point man is taught not to come out past the center of the circle. He uses that as his guideline. And the reason for that is if he comes out, he elongates the zone and makes it easier for number 10 to find a high post man. As you can see, it is not as compact, it is not as crowded as if he would stay at the circle. Now what the situation is here. Number 10 is going to make a pass out to our wing. And our back man, our cheat man, must honor this pass because there's a threat of a shot there. So as he honors the pass, we also must realize he is a back man and we want to get him back down there where he belongs, hence the bump down move. What you will see in the drill is our point man, 32, will drop to the elbow area to protecting the high post, quickly push himself out to the wing area, bumping 24 down to the baseline. Now, as the ball is passed from the wing to the corner, 24 does have time to cover this corner man. Point drops to elbow, then slides out to cover ball, bumping cheat man to corner. While the ball's in the corner, we want adequate ball coverage on the ball. Here we see our wing man blocking a return pass back out from the corner. Our high post man is in good position for flash post defense and for diagonal pass. Our middle man is fronting the low post, and our offside rebounder is in strong rebounding position. Here you'll see as the bump down moves occurs and the ball is passed into the corner, the wingman will retreat back towards the elbow to get in his box position. There's his retreat, there's his move back out again, and they're moving together. Here we see the zone shifting to its responsibilities. The wingman's about ready to come back in, the backman's hands are up in good position, the point's covering the ball. During the course of the game, whether by design or poor zone slides, your middle defensive man will be playing in back of the offensive post man, particularly when the ball is in the corner. This situation can be met with the help coming from the top down of the point man. He can come down and literally front the low post, or at least crowd the view of the low post by the man in the corner with the ball. While there's a hole up at the high post, the judgment must be made, do we stop the low post and give a potential high post play, or do we go up and down the lane trying to further distort the view of the offensive man in the corner? So at this time, we would suggest to the point man that you can either go up and down the lane to distort the view, to crowd the view, to do anything to confuse the man in the corner with the ball. But in this segment, we're going to go into our box position. Now the box position is one which demands that the front two men work in harmony. They must move together as the ball is moved around the floor. Here we see the pass coming from the corner to the wing, and as the wing man moves, the point man moves. When it goes down to the corner, they move together back in their box position. They must move together. Now when the ball comes back up on the top of the circle, the point man squares up under the ball, our wingman is back at the elbow, and our back line is shifting now to cover the reversal pass. Cheat man is up, middle man is over. We are now in decent position to cover the next play. Here we have a situation which is somewhat staged, but it'll appear in the game, of which we have our cheat man out on the ball, honoring the ball. We have our postman in front of the post down there at the center, and we are in our box position. However, notice where 34 is. He is down there on the baseline in the midpoint or in the hot position, whatever you want to call it, and it's a very, very difficult position for our cheat man to get to. What we do is initiate the X cut. It's when the ball is past the 34, our middle man will go out and play him, and our back man on the far side, number 12, will slip underneath to get in front of the post, as our cheat man will go back deep to box opposite to complete the X cut. Now let's take a look at it. As the ball is passed, the middle man covers the ball. We front the post, and the X cut is taken. As the ball comes back out to the wing area, our front line will honor this by moving out together, and we are now back in our slides of the 2-3 zone. We're fronting the post, we're in our cheat position, and we're ready to go. Let's take a look at it in a drill. Cheat man cuts the near box and fronts post as middle man covers ball to complete short X. Front line boxes. Normal zone slides on pass out. Cheater X man must quickly drop to near box to beat high post rolling low. Notice point man dropping to help out on post. Again, normal zone slides on pass out and to the point. The zone must have proper spacing to avoid gaps. Gaps in the defense can be threatening. Here we see the middle man playing under, the cheat man going out, exposing a lane for a low post to break up, and once catching the pass there, he can do devastation to the zone. To avoid this, we have the middle man straddling lane when the ball is in the middle, and the cheat man out here, you can do almost anything that you want with him. Sneak him in as tight as you want, maybe spread him a little bit. Here we show a small middle man and a big wing man using him to distort the jump shot's view. In covering the baseline drive, the move by the cheat man is the same. He follows the ball down to the baseline, and he will trail it in to trap the ball with the middle man. Most importantly, the wing man will dive back into the box area to crowd a post pass, and our point man opposite is for the diagonal. Here we see the drill. Here we have our front line shifted to the right side of the floor. It's been predetermined for the drill. Our point man and our wing man have established themselves as to where they will go on the first pass to the extension. The point man will drop to the elbow, and the wing man will take the ball. We want the front line man out there rather than the back man for various reasons. One, we like to keep the back man underneath the basket. Two is, by not having the back man out there, avoids potential bumps, X moves, all kinds of problems. Now, in the course of the season, if it's ascertained that the offense comes up the left side of the floor, then what we would do would shift the zone around to where 10 becomes the point, 14 becomes the wing, and the back line shifts to make the adjustment. But for today, we're working the right side of the floor, so we'll get the zone to shift back where it belongs on the right side, and then we'll start with our drill. As you'll see with the drill progresses, how quickly they move from position to position. As the drill begins, our wingman goes out, covers the ball, blocks the lane, watches quick slide back in. Very important. Well, now let's show the slides with the ball at the wing and at the corner position. The wingman will go out and cover the ball, and our point man will drop to the elbow to protect the high post. Now, our back line is in a cheat position. That is, they are cheating to get to the next pass. Could be corner, could be low post. Our cheat man will put his inside hand across the box to disrupt the view of the post man. Our middle man will do so likewise. They can work as a team. You actually can have that middle man as high as you want. The offside back man is responsible for the lob and for the offside rebounding. Now in the skip pass situation, it is difficult, if not impossible, for our point man to get there with adequate coverage. Our offside back man will cover all passes to that side of court. That is, all skip passes. Our point man may get over to bump him down, but to ask him to get over there is impossible. When the ball gets to the corner, our back man will play him in your man-for-man philosophy. We show forcing baseline and we show squaring. Discourage the dribble into the middle. Our wingman is blocking the lane to force a lob pass. The lob pass gives the zone a chance to shift. Our high post person is now protecting the elbow against flashes and the diagonal pass. During this drill, we will instruct our middleman to be in front of the box at all times. The reason for that is to assume adequate defensive position so the offensive man cannot get in close to the basket. We want him fronted. If the postman happens to get around in front of our middleman, it is no big threat because it's a difficult shot for there compared to working on the box area. We don't want him sitting there in a comfortable position. Now to the drill. Here the slides are quick. They're shutting off the return pass, forcing a lob, and moving quickly back to position. One of the most important and demanding slides in the zone is the return of the wingman to the elbow when the ball goes back on top of the circle. Now this can be done in various ways, but we're suggesting a step, slide, slide to get back in. He must get back in to stop any pass going through the zone or under the zone. Not only does John have to get out on the ball, but he has to get back in quickly. Notice the slides as he goes to meet the demand of the pass. Back in, back in. Here we're going to show the box move once more. Remember now, the purpose of the box move is basically to crowd the post. When the wingman comes back in towards the elbow, you can plug him down into the box area. You can even have him front the post, but again, it's mainly to protect against the post. As the ball goes to the corner, John will drop back to the elbow. Now you can drop him lower if you want to. Now they must recover back out to original positions. Out, into box it, return to position, now to zone coverage. An important slide is for the point man to get to the elbow to protect the high post. If he fails to do so and a high post man is there, he is much more effective. So we don't want him there. We want to get there first. Force him somewhere else. We also want the box near side protected, the ball crowded, and the box opposite area also protected. Now this back man over here is responsible for anything that comes to his side. Someone flashes to the elbow, someone comes into the lane, and a skip pass. He's also protecting against the lob. Now this man is essentially in a man-for-man position, taking the first pass that comes to his side of the floor. Now this lob that comes forth is mainly due to lack of ball pressure. If John sags off the ball, it makes it much more comfortable for the offensive man to find the lob man. But if John puts pressure on the ball or crowds the ball, it is not quite that simple. Remember now, this group has never done these slides together as a group. Notice how they're starting to move together. In, out, box it. They're starting to get good zone offensive rhythm. Now let me set this scene for you. Many times in the course of a game when we're blocking lane, the player from the corner or even the baseline instinctively will go for the hole with a dribble. Fortunately, this does not seem to be in a repertoire of many zone offenses, but however, players will do this because of their natural athletic talent. We don't want the zone to be split. We don't want it to be penetrated. So what we must do then is send the wingman down to double on the ball. It's almost a help recovery type operation, but he's going down to stop it, to jam it up as quickly as he can. And upon the pass back out, he will then recover and go back out to his original position. Again, we do not want the zone to be penetrated with the dribble, and coming from the corner between that gap which we have in our blocking the lane type of defense, we must go after it with our lane man, our wing man. He must double it, he must stop it, and he must recover on a pass back out. Let's see these rule slides applied in a drill setting. The key here is recognizing what the offense is doing. Trap, recover, back to your zone slide. In defending the skip pass, our offside back man or cheat man must come up and contain the ball until his bump down man comes. Point man comes and covers high post. Now we're in adequate position. The skip pass is always taken by the offside back man. Now in the drill here we see the play. Over, up, bump him down, covering, get to your box positions, recover. The high post is covered by our middle man. He comes up to play him man for man until he gets rid of the ball. We call him the up man. The back men cover the box areas. The front line will drop to the level of the ball, covering the elbows. We do not want them to pinch. The reason why we drop them to the level of the ball is to cover all wing passes that may come from the post man. If we happen to pinch, as some teams do, the problems that we have faced is the offside offensive man steps in, receives the ball. Now the back man has a difficult decision. Does he come out to play the ball? Does he cheat to his corner man? We want to keep the back man under. So to do that, we tell our front line to drop to the elbows when the ball is passed into the high post. The elbows and the boxes must be protected. As the offensive man turns around, by being at the boxes, eliminates the high-low pass. Here we're demonstrating by being high in the boxes, slipping in the back is prevented. When the ball is passed from the high post to a wing, we must get our back line realigned to its original position. We can do it this way. One, as it comes to the wing area, our far box man slides to the near box, and our high post man retreats away, similar to a 3-on-2 fast break situation. Here we see him sliding over and sliding back. As the ball is passed to the high post, our up man comes up, our front line will retreat to their elbow area, and as the ball is kicked out, the wing man covers the ball, and as the ball goes down to the corner, he assumes his box position. As the ball is entered into the post, it's covered by our middle man. We want box opposite covered, but also notice here, as the ball goes in, how the two front line men protect their elbow. See John moving away? As the ball enters the post, the cheat man must quickly retreat to protect his own box. Here we see the ball entering into the post. He slides back to protect his box for protecting elbows both near and far. He recovers to cover the corner pass, and we're in a box position also. In the drill now, as the ball goes in, also notice how the front men are protecting their elbows. An alternate way to cover the post would to bring number 12 up to cover 20, the far box man, slide your middle man to box opposite, and your cheat man goes back to the box. Let's take a look. Here comes the far box man up, the middle man slides away, and our cheat man's down. Also notice how we have both elbows covered. It is important every time the ball's in a post that the elbow is covered. We can dig at it here. Now the ball's in the corner, and we're either playing in back of the post by design, or we got caught playing in back of the post. As you see, we're in a box position right here. Now we can get help, again, as we said previously, from the top down, plugging down to further confuse the offense to take away that post play. As our point man goes down to plug, our other front line man should come over to close the distance and to also to handle the diagonal pass that may come to the top of the circle. But in this drill, we're going to show us in a box position and a post wide open. As the ball is passed into the post, we're going to have the passer, defensive man, go back and trap the ball, and then stay and front the post as the ball is returned back to the passer, and our middleman will come around and play the ball. Here he does not stay. He returns back to play his own man as post slides in front. Knowing that the offense likes to go inside out, particularly post man to opposite side, it's imperative that when the ball is in the post, our boxes and our elbows are protected. Here we show our men in adequate positions. So when the pass goes opposite, our front man, number 10, is in a reasonable distance to cover the wing pass. As he goes out to cover, our cheat man moves, our middle man moves over, and the zone shifts to its position. Here we see the zone in position, with our back man in the cheat position, our middle man covering his middle man, our high post covered, and our offside back man ready for the lob. Rebounding positions are treated the same way as a post pass. That is, we want the boxes and the elbows protected. So as the shooter shoots the ball, we want boxes and elbows protected. See 32 coming elbow opposite? That is critical in rebounding. On a shot from the corner, the same rules prevail, particularly protecting the elbow. See 32 slide opposite and 10 slide in. You must protect the elbows in the boxes. In drilling the zone, we drill it in part. We drill the front line by itself and the back line by itself. Here we're going to show 2 defensive men versus 5 offensive men and blocking the lane at the same time. They're hustling, getting to the slides, moving well. It's a demanding drill, usually done at the end of practice. The front line now will be drilled on the box move. That is, when the ball is in the corner, their box position is obtained to help plug up the post. Now remember, we're trying to get these people to work as a team and also send them through the different floor experiences in relation to the pass. They're starting to work well here, a little too early there. Up, over, back, out. As the ball comes back out, the point man's going for the outside shoulder to help him get in better position for the swing pass. Now with the back line drill, we're going to ask the back men to do their bump move immediately. That is to come out and honor the ball and cover the corner pass. Now in this situation, we have our back men already up in their cheat positions with our middle man in the middle, ready to go from box to box. Up honors, covers the corner, box is protected, step to the ball. Notice how high they are. Honors, covers, step to the ball, over, down to the corner. When the ball is passed to the baseline and must be covered by the middle man, our cheat man must retreat to ball side box. This is called a short X. Now here we see them in ideal position. They're nice and high, ready to go to their zone slides. In this drill, the middle man will always get back into the middle. This is not always necessary, but can be done. X. Retreats back. Up. X. Up. Now here we see a double team, which can be done many times instead of the X, with 24 coming over to protect near side box. The purpose of the deep X is that the cheat man cannot get back quick enough to cover low posts, so the other back man comes over to cover near side box. Here we see up, back to far side box, and near side box covered. Up, deep X, I wouldn't turn that way. In, up, deep X, recover. Now we bring the front and back line together for a 5-on-5 drill to familiarize themselves with their positions in relation to the ball. As the ball is being passed around, they will go into their box positions, their corner positions, all the positions which are necessary to defend the ball. And as you'll see down the line here, if they're a little bit slow, you'll see easy passes get through them. A little mix-up there. They're trying to work as a unit. Coming back, a little slow here. Watch this pass. Now we add a 6-man, a high post man. May I add, you can add even 2 more and put them on the boxes for 8 versus 5. Here you see, because of the slides not being effective, the post is wide open. But they do react as the ball gets in, protecting elbows, protecting boxes. Fatigue is setting in, and you can see the passes getting through there. But it's the purpose of the drill is to familiarize themselves with all the angles. Here you see the man looking opposite. We're ready to go to the elbows. The boxes is protected. Our up man is up there. The zone slides are taking effect. Now that you've seen the tape, and I do hope you enjoyed it and got some basketball information out of it, I just want to throw out some additional thoughts. One is the zone defense is not a cop-out defense. Many have stated in the past that name me a team that won the Final Four who played zone defense. Well, teams have and are and still will continue to win the Final Four playing zone. As far back as when John Wooten used a diamond and one against Elvin Hayes. It's a demanding defense. It's a one which, as you could see, causes action both on the offense and the defense. Now, many have expressed the fear of the lob, the big play. I know this is a concern that they can throw it up to the basket, and without the proper coverage, that it makes the defense look humiliating, in fact. With proper ball pressure, it'll take away the constant fear of the lob. So this, I think, is somewhat of an unfounded fear. Lastly, the lack of responsibility. As you see in the tape, when the ball is shot to the basket, that we have for people who are responsible to get to their boxes, to get to their elbows. If the ball is dribbled, there's a switching aspect going on, as it would in a man-for-man. So there is a definite line of responsibilities for your players. The zone should be active. It should be moving around. It should go out and challenge the ball. It should have its hands up. I know we've seen many zones being passive. They're like laying back as it would be in a sagging man-for-man. They're somewhat lethargic. I attribute this mainly to the lack of the zone offenses. And I can see the zones coming into this, and to some extent even meeting success. I don't say that this should be done. I'm an advocate of an active defense, of putting pressure on the ball and getting to your spots quickly. The ball is played man-for-man as you would teach it in your man-for-man defense. However, we are suggesting to you that you push the ball to the sideline and down to the corner. This takes away the possibility of the ball penetrating into the middle of the zone via the dribble, causing another player to come to the ball. It also, by penetrating the zone, will enable an easier pass to go into the post. So play him tough, crowd him so he can't make the lob pass, and crowd him so he can't even find the offensive maneuvering, and push him down to the sideline. Get in line with the ball is a similar theory of man-for-man. Our offside help by getting to their zone slide positions. We suggest to them to try to align themselves with the ball. Now, they won't get in a straight line all the time, but just getting to that position takes away the flash post coming in, direct passing lanes. It takes away the easy opportunity for the offense to score. Holding your zone compact, putting it tight, getting your wings to start at the elbows, inhibit the ball from being passed through the zone or underneath the zone. When the ball is going around the zone, such as from point to wing to corner, or it comes back over the zone from, say, the corner to the point, and I'm not talking about a skip pass situation, all these other type of passes give the zone a chance to react, to shift. But a penetrating pass through the zone is one which will create havoc and is discouraged through the compactness of the zone. The use of help recovery drills, whether it be from a shell or just a two-man situation, has tremendous carryover into the zone, particularly in defending against a penetrating dribble. By help and recovering, we avoid 2 men on the ball. It's the same principle as a man-for-man, is that the help man goes over, and as soon as the dribble is stopped or pulled back, he recovers back to his zone position. Because we want man-for-man coverage on the ball from the zone, it's imperative that you continue with your one-on-one drills, whether it be from a spot or from a dribble. This has a tremendous carryover into the zone, as when the ball is passed around and the man approaching the ball will automatically get into his man-for-man position as you would in your man-for-man defensive setting. So continue your one-on-one drills throughout. Now here's a problem. During the course of the game, the offense seems to get in a nice rhythm, gets into a groove where they're passing the ball around, they're challenging the zone. They are actually in control of the game. You can sit back and maybe wait for this to disappear, but my suggestion is to change defenses. Go out and play a little bit of man-for-man, press them full court after made fouls, but you must be willing to make a change. Sooner or later, they will get back into their normal offensive zone groove, but you must be willing to make the change to get them out of this rhythm. Now that you've seen the zone tape and all the different aspects of it, remember, daily drilling by the front and the back line separate over a period of time gets the players to feel in such a comfort factor that they will recognize their position in relation to the ball almost secondhand. And doing the 5-on-5 on a daily drill will also create that team movement, that team unity, which makes the players feel so comfortable and full of confidence in meeting any type of zone offense. Also, feel free to adapt these zone slides to whatever zone you're using. They're applicable to the 1-2-2, the 1-3-1. You can improvise by sending the wingman down to the corner to trap if you so desire, fake him in and out of a box, trap from the opposite side. Be creative. These zone slides are the basic rules of zone movements, which are adaptable, as I said, to all zones. Also, don't give up on it. Don't let a long shot or a streaky shooter who happens to hit 2 or 3 in a row make you feel that you must get out of the zone. Be patient with the zone, and the zone will be good to you. Our next films will have the 1-2-2 zone. We'll also have traps in there to meet the delay game. We'll have the 1-3-1 high. So I'll be looking forward to you once again and again. Hang there with the zone.